Hello everyone, welcome to my lecture. In this lecture, you will learn about machine learning using coding part 2. Interacting with multiple dimensions using arrays. Data does not always fall neatly into one or two dimensions. Sometimes you need three or more dimensions to express a dataset adequately. In this case, you can use an array to hold the information. An array can contain multiple dimensions of data to express complex relationships. An array uses many of the functions that a matrix uses to perform tasks. In fact, an array is a structure of matrices recognized in a manner that allows the use of multiple dimensions. Creating a basic array. You use the array function to create arrays. The array syntax of array provides the means to create reasonably complex arrays. Data defines the data used to fill the data elements in the matrix. The data normally appears as a part of a vector. Dim specifies the number of rows to create. Dim names determines the names assigned to the rows and columns. As with a matrix, you can create a blank array and add information to it later. In most cases, even a simple array will contain data. A more practical array contains at least two dimensions. You can specify the dimensions at the time you create the array. Creating a data frame. Data frames are tabular structures. In other words, they are akin to a matrix or a two-dimensional array in that they have rows and columns. However, data frames work more likely like a database. Each column represents a variable and each row a record. For example, when describing a person, you might include name and height. The names and heights represent two columns, two variables used to describe a person. A combination of an individual name and height is a row, a single record within the data frame. Understanding factors. A factor is a special structure that enables you to categorize data. You can create them using either numbers or strings. What makes factors special is that you see unique values only after creating a factor. Each of these values is a level. To create a factor, you use the factor function. Creating a basic data frame. Data frames provide the means to mix data types within a single structure. When working with R, you can use columns of the numeric, character, and factor data types. Each of the columns contains the same number of entities and form rows when put together. To give you some idea of how this all works, you could create some columns using the code. To create the data frame, you use the data.frame function. Be sure to include the period between data and frame. You can assign a name to each column in the data frame simply by including it as part of the call. That is all for this lecture. Thanks for watching.